Alright, welcome back to the shop today. A little bit of a niche topic I want to go over today. Something not often discussed because it can be a little bit dry as toast, but that is optic mounts. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the Arken Optics 20 minute of angle AR rigid precision mount. Recently I had a little bit of a kerfuffle here with my DMR, my 6.5 Creedmoor DMR. I was testing some ammo, the Fiocchi Exacta rifle match ammo. I have that in a different video. You can find it somewhere here or on my channel. But I was testing some ammo and I had some problems with this mount right here, and I'm not really sure the brand of this mount. I don't have it marked on here, and I think I covered it up with epoxy paint, but it is a quick detach type of mount that kept coming loose on me and shifting zero and shifting while I was shooting. I noticed a little bit of wiggle back and forth in it. So I needed to replace this thing, and that one goes in the trash. Optic mounts for ARs are a very specific genre and type of mount, similar to this right here. They have offset forward rings so you can clear your forward receiver. You're not having to clamp an optic with traditional rings on your handguard, so you can keep all of your mounting surfaces on the actual upper receiver of the AR. So they're very specific. Generally, mounts like this cost in the neighborhood of about $100 to $150, sometimes up to $300. Some mounts I've seen out there even close to $400, which for me, with most rifles, it's pretty unnecessary. It's a little bit of a higher cost than you need to for a simple piece of aluminum machined well with threads and screws. So I've had good luck in the past with stuff like this from Leupold. This is the Leupold Mark AR mount. I've had great success with those. I've had great success with the MDT mounts and Burris and other companies like that. They're pretty simple technology. They're not hard to find and they're not hard to make. But I've had really good experiences in the past with a broad range of mounts from a broad range of companies. But I wanted to give Arken Optics a try because they are a little bit lower on the price point. Now, Arken is known for budget optics. They have come to the market in the last few years with a lot of really great high quality optics that are offering, you know, some really unique features and really modern features in an affordable price package in that $299 to $599 range, somewhere in that range for most of their optics. And there's a lot of great feedback out there. There's a lot of great things people have to say about their optics and the experience with them in the field in real world scenarios. I don't have any Arken Optics at this time, but I wanted to try out their mounts because it came in about $20 to $30 less than the average out there I was finding for something like a Leupold Mark AR mount. Currently, street price on this thing is about 79 bucks on their website. That's the MSRP, so that's not a bad, you know, you're not out a whole lot of pocket change for getting one of these. So as I was making my selection, being that this is a 6.5 Creedmoor, it's a little bit more of a long range round and a long range rig, I went with the 20 minute of angle base and 30 millimeter rings. The 20 MOA base means that there's 20 minutes of angle of adjustment already built into the base. So it's basically a canted base. So you already have lots of adjustment built into it naturally when you zero your rifle, leaving you a lot of extra room for elevation adjustments for ultra long range shooting out of a typical turret system. What really drew me to this mount is kind of the looks of it. I was looking at online at different ones and I wanted to try out Arken and stuff like that. So I said, you know, it's a pretty good looking mount. So I liked the way it looked, liked the price point, and I went ahead and decided to order it, and I'm not upset that I did. So coming out of the box, simple packaging, just this and some bubble wrap is all they had in the box with your Allen key built that they provide you for your screws. It's the same screws, both top and bottom, so that's nice. They have the same size Allen screws for here and for here. And it's a big hefty boy too, so I think it's like an eighth of an inch, so it's a really good size. I can respect that. I can also respect going cheap on packaging because it's an inexpensive part and you don't need to spend a whole lot of money on Gucci packaging because you're not charging premium prices for this stuff. From their website, they list it as aircraft grade aluminum. It's hard coat anodized black and everything. I will say initially, it's very stylized. It's very trimmed down. It feels a little lighter than something like this Mark AR mount from Leupold. It's got all the metal and meat where you need it, but it doesn't have too much where you don't. If that makes sense. The base itself is pretty trim around underneath the scope body here and stuff like that, but your mounting surface is nice and solid, and all of the edges on it are super chamfered, which I really can respect that. You know, typical mounts like this, everything's kind of squared off, and they don't take a lot of extra time machining, you know, the edges and breaking those edges. But Arken has done a fantastic job of kind of rounding off and chamfering edges all the way around the mount, up one side, down the other, and all the major surfaces where you might come in contact with gear, or you might come in contact with your skin and that kind of things. It's really pleasant to the feel. The screws and the mounting underneath here, the bars that are built into the bottom of the base, are actually really hefty and heavy duty feeling. So mounting it up was pretty easy. It felt solid. It felt, you know, like there's no movement in it. Overall, it is lightweight, and you can tell they've trimmed out some meat here, like underneath. They did these undercuts here below the rings, and in between the actual screws, they've cut some of that out, so to trim a little bit of it down. So you're looking at a little bit of loss of ounces so far as weight goes, but you have rigidity wherever you need it. I like the design of it. I mean, I'm a design guy, I'm an artist, so when I look at something like this, if it looks cool, I'm kind of probably gonna, you know, fall for it a little bit. But they put cuts and they put chamfers and they put you know, machining, and did all these things where it kind of mattered to make it look better. Honestly, just make it look cool, make it look better. It's got really nice cuts for the logo on the top of the ring, so that's a neat addition. Mounting it up was easy. Allen wrench was supplied, all that good stuff. Pretty straightforward. It was easy enough to get. I do a lot of, when I do my scope mounting, I do a lot of what is called precision parallel mounting. So I use the bottom of the scope body with a precision parallel against the top of the scope mount. If it's machined perfectly flat, and you kind of got to check it in relationship to your upper receiver, and then you can pinch that in there, hinge it up, and you can see if your scope's level and flat. You can see me do it here in the video. And that gives you an indicator on whether or not your scope is actually parallel to your bore and perpendicular and all those good things, squared up and straight and true. So using a quality mount actually gives you a quality surface to do that precision parallel type of gauging on mounting your actual scope and getting it true. There's other methods out there you can use to true your scope up and make sure it's perfectly perpendicular and parallel and all the things are squared up. I found personally over the years, I've had great success using a precision parallel in between the mounts and the bottom of the scope body. If it's a well-built scope and a well-built mount, those things should be square to one another, and you should have straight and true crosshairs on your perpendicular and parallel with your bore, so you shouldn't have a problem there. This one made it super easy to do that. I could also check on the back side here, check my precision parallel with the level of my actual upper receiver here, so to make sure everything's actually square there, and measuring it, it was nice and square. So overall, it's a very squarely made mount, so it's even, it's square, it's true. The other good thing I really like is they actually have the inch-pounds needed for torque written on both sides of the mount, and the inch-pounds of torque written on the screws right here on your mounting bracket for the upper receiver. So it takes the guesswork out of it. The information's right there in front of you, and I like that. That's a good thing to do. And then it has written on the side over here, of course, on this side, 20 MOA for the base, so you know what you're getting. All right, other than that, there's not a whole lot else to say about it coming out of the package. I don't generally do unboxing videos, but this was just a neat looking little mount, and it's chamfered and shaped well, and it's got this great feel to it all the way around. There's no snag points. You don't have any big bolts sticking out to snag on gear and stuff. It's very low profile. Sometimes you get a little bit bulky with some of the bolting options that are out there for some of the mounts, and this one's just really nice, slim, trim, streamlined, beautifully machined, and it looks like everything's nice and even and clean. You don't have huge gaps between your ring and the body here, so, or between the the top ring and the bottom ring. There's not a lot of huge gaps. Everything seems to be pretty even there. You can stick a fingernail in all the way around when torqued down to proper spec. All right, so I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. It's a well-designed mount, well finished, well coated, and all those good things. Now I just got to get out to the range, re-zero this thing, and start doing some testing and let y'all know how it turns out. All right, I appreciate y'all joining me again today. Get out there, be blessed, and have fun shooting.